Hi everyone, my name is Kelly and welcome to my channel, Be You. I felt pretty guided for a while now, probably a couple of weeks, to talk about mediums and what that means for me, being a medium, and what I can actually do as a medium. And also, I'm going to talk about when you possibly need to do a cleansing of your house or your business, um, or even your body. So I'll start off with, I've always been a medium. It was something that has basically in my family. It runs in the family. I did deny it for quite quite a long time. Now, what I can do is I can see spirits. I don't call them dead people. To me, they don't like that. They like being called spirits. And I can also sense them immediately, see them, not really smell them, but sometimes I can pick up like perfume smells or cigarettes, anything like that, when they want me to. Um, so I've learned through the years. I basically started accepting this. I would say probably about 6 years ago, um, where I knew I had them in my house. I could sense that they were always there, wanting to talk to me, but I just ignored them. And then I did a ritual uh, with my Native American ancestors, and they came through and literally told me, like, "Why are you ignoring them? This is a gift." And I always saw it as not a gift. But now I do see it that it is a gift, and that I can help so many people with healing and just basically giving them what they need. One thing that I have learned through the times is death does not infect impact the one that passes. It's always the ones that are left behind. So that was my changing my mind, was when I did my little session with my ancestors, and they told me that it's a gift, that it runs in our family, and that we can help people. So to see it that way. So then I proceeded on to allowing those at my house and helping them get where they need to be. So me as a medium, what do I do? Basically, I strongly sense and believe that our parts of our essences get left behind. Never the soul. When someone passes, the soul instantly leaves the body, but our essence gets can be left behind if they do not choose the light. um what do I mean by that? So basically, my belief is, in my body I have a soul, and she and he has a name because it's both sex as a soul. And then I have an essence, which is, my name is Kelly, that's my essence. And then of course you have parts, that's the ego. They're all tied together um, in the body. It's not like three separate beings there. It's just three parts of me that when I pass, the soul goes where it needs to go. And then my essence, Kelly, can choose to go into the light or choose not to. Now, doing cleansing people's houses, talking to people with their loved ones that have passed, I have collected a lot of information in the past years. One thing that I noticed was, I automatically assumed that if anything felt dark, or if I saw like a dark shadow or something like that in a corner, I instantly, my ego mind would tell me that that's a threat. And what I learned by knowing that it wasn't a threat, it was more like, I need this to be revealed because my mind's telling me that this is a threat, but yet this shadow is not moving. So one instance, I was at a house of my friends, and I was cleansing the house, and they opened up what you would think would be like a little attic door, and they always had something in front of it. So isn't it funny how your mind kind of like knows that there's something like there? So I was cleansing the house, um, and she opened a door, and then that's when like I could see this dark smoke like come out of it, and I did not want to go near that. And then I told myself like this is just my mind trying to tell me that this is just like all the horror stories or all the ghost stories that are out there, that this is evil, this is a demon, this is an entity that's going to hurt you. And I don't believe in that at all. So I faced my fear and I walked over towards the small door, and I bent down and I saw what looked to be like a very dark shadow there, but he wasn't moving. And instantly I knew it was a man because I literally said he wasn't moving in my head. Like, he's not coming at me, he's not coming to attack me, because they don't actually come, no spirit that gets stuck comes to attack you. They can only drain you from your energy if you have so much energy that you're not using at your highest potential. Then they can tap into your energy, and that's how they can move things. So if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with your energy and allowing yourself to be yourself, you won't have anything going bump in the night. You won't have things moving. They only have power because it's your power. And I learned that too. So back to my story. So as I'm seeing this dark shadow person, and I instantly knew it was a guy because I instantly said guy. So I know immediately that means it's a guy. So then as I said that, he started to appear more. And he actually was just a teenage boy. I cannot remember how old he was, but I want to say maybe 13 to 15. And he committed suicide. So that's where all the darkness was coming from. He actually thought that he was this horrible person because, and this whole story is quite remarkable. There was a family of departed ones in this one house. They could not see each other at all. There was four of them, two brothers, and then the mom and dad. So their story, and how do I know this, is because the boys told me their story. I went in, and that the very first boy I knew was not the dark figure one that committed suicide. But I will tell you, as I got in my mind and said, Kel, this is not what he appears, he started to really appear as what he truly was, which was just a teenage boy that committed suicide and felt that he did not deserve the light because he was bad. And then and I asked him, why was he bad? Why did he hurt himself? He was from the 1800s that I can recall. He literally told me because he killed his brother, his little brother. So I went on to ask him, can you tell me the story? Now, you have to realize they don't communicate like me and you. Okay. To me, they come in sometimes very staticky, and sometimes they're confused. And the longer they've been stuck, it's harder for me to link into what their story is, what they're trying to do, and why they're still here. There's always a reason why they're still here. So for him, he committed suicide, and he did that because he thought he killed his brother. So what happened was his little brother that actually died before him was in the house too. And I knew that because I always saw him running around playing, and he always hid like in a closet. So there was a little girl that actually grew up in this house, one of two little girls. And she saw him when she was little, and he always scared her. And all he wanted to do was play with her. He wasn't trying to scare her. He just wanted to play. He missed his family, and he wasn't sure what really happened to him. He died when he was about, I think, 6 to 8, if I can recall. That's what's coming, 6 to 8 years old. And so here's the family story. Okay. And this is how a group of the same family members can be grouped together. And when they pass, a part of them can stay connected here and not actually fully cross over. So the little guy, he was out playing in like a pond lake that no longer is on the land, but it was on the land when this happened back in 1800s. And he went swimming. His older brother, the one that committed suicide, he was supposed to watch him. So his oldest brother was by the river or lake, whatever it was, and he was just playing with rocks and stuff. He wasn't paying attention. So his younger brother actually went and he dived, and when he dived over, he hit a rock and he went unconscious. And he floated there, but of course he was unconscious, and his face and everything was in the water. So he died. Once his older brother realized that he was floating, he went and he grabbed him, but he was already blue. The little boy was already gone. He yelled for his mom and dad. So the mom and dad came in, and the mom said something that she regretted, but she was just at that moment, she just lost her son. She said, "This is all your fault," to her other son. And instantly, when she said that, she wished that she didn't, but it was already something said. And then they didn't talk about it. So the little kid, he was about 10 at that age. For 5 years, he just had that guilt that he killed his brother, that it was all his fault. So he couldn't live with himself. So he hung himself, and then his dad found him. And then because the dad had now lost both his sons, he could not speak anymore. He chose not to speak. And then the mother lost both sons too, and she chose not to eat. So this is literally a family that they all had one tragic event happen, and they all suffered for this. Now, this is all part of their soul path. They were supposed to go through this. So, as the little boy, the one that drowned, I asked him why he did not go into the light, because little kids, they normally go. But one of the biggest things that happens is the parents tell them don't go. So they don't go. They listen to their parents and they stay stuck here. Little kids, they're always, when I see them, they're always playing, they're always just doing their thing. It's not like they're being tortured. They're just waiting on the person that told them to stay for them to come get them. But that's not how it works. When a parent or something like that dies, there is no, they link up and they see them and they all cross together. Not for me, anyways. So like I said, this is how I do my mediumship, and there's so many mediums, and everyone can have their own ways and their own seeing and everything. So with this family, the little boy decided to stay because the mom said don't go, so he didn't go. Okay, so that's why he was stuck in this house. So of course, this house was not here in the 1800s; the land was, and as more and more things got built, they just stayed on the land. And then they ended up in the house that was on the land. Then his older brother took his own life by hanging. He was in the same house, but yet they could not see because they were not on the same level. And then the mother and father also died, and it was due to the hands of the father, because in his mind, he kept saying he was a failure, that he allowed both of his sons to die before him. And his wife, like I said, she stopped eating. So she was already going to be the next one to go. So he just decided to kill her and then kill himself. They were also in this house. They were up in the actual attic, um, just waiting. So they were all waiting for me to go there and to hear the story of this whole family that was impacted by one tragedy that just carried this whole family into more of it happening. So, like I said, when I'm doing my mediumship, when I go into a house for clearing, I'm very open to what they're saying. And that family, all they wanted was each other. So once I realized this whole family, all four of them, was in this house, all I had to do was tell them that they are right here. And I had to talk to the one that committed suicide and told him that he was not bad, that he just did, it was an accident. Clearly, he wasn't paying attention as his little brother, he drowned. His little brother never blamed him. And then the little boy told me that he believed that his parents was somewhere there, And then that led me on a trail of finding his mom and dad that was in the attic of the house. And as I opened the ladder to go into the house or to the attic, they were right there. They were waiting. And it's quite interesting when I go in to clear a house of any spirits that are stuck. It's like they know I'm coming, and that's cool. At first, it was a little freaky. Like, how do they communicate? To know that a medium's coming. But not only do they communicate with one another, that's on their same level. They also have angels and um, angels of death that stay with them until that part of that soul goes into the light. So it's also a whole network of beings like angels and I'm sure dragons and unicorns that are helping to get them where they need to be. So I happen to be right there to help them. And that is really, really amazing. And I have crossed over a lot of spirits that were stuck. Um, in just a few years. And I enjoy doing it because when you cross over a stuck spirit into the light, you actually heal their family bloodline. You heal the past, the present, and the future because now there's no part of that bloodline that is stuck in between the two. So I do call the other side. I do say the light. That's how I get them to go into light. And more likely, I have to understand why they didn't go. What are they afraid of? And then just by communicating and talking to them, I can pretty much get them to go. So those are stuck spirits that when I go in for cleansing of houses, like I said, all houses have history. Every person has history. So the older the house, it does seem like there's more activity that goes on there. But also, you have to realize when a loved one crosses and they're in the light, they do come and they help you when you need it or when you call on them. So that is not a stuck spirit. That is just someone, a family member that has crossed over that is coming to help you. So one thing that I had to do on my journey of becoming the medium that I am today is I had to realize when was it a stuck spirit? Because sometimes it was simple. If someone committed suicide or if they were murdered, it was pretty simple for me to walk in and instantly know that this person's not crossed. But sometimes it got a little bit interesting to me to know like, are they crossed or are they not in the light? Are they just here helping? But my biggest thing is communicating. So when I started this, sensing them, yes, hearing them, not as much. It took time and it took me really practicing and not being afraid of them. That's the kicker. The more open your mind is and the less afraid you are, the more you will hear what they're saying. And then they also use so if you ever have one where like you feel like you're having like a brain like your migraines, like really bad migraines. I have associated migraines with someone passing from a brain aneurysm because it is just feels so much pressure in the mind. So when I ask them how do you die, and I instantly get that huge headache comes full force. They're not trying to hurt you. They're not trying to scare you. They're just trying to communicate. So they can also communicate like that as well. They show like they make you feel certain things in your body. So they're telling you. So like I had one that had a heart attack and how he did it, it literally felt like I was literally like my heart was just beating so fast, like it was going to come out of my heart, my body, and it was just him saying that's how he died. So if you are getting into being a mediumship, or if you're curious that you are a medium, but you're just not sure like where to start, um, what does it mean for you? Can you sense them? Can you feel them? Can you hear them? Can you see them? All that stuff. You can always reach out to me. and we can explore this better, because one of the things that I'm meant to do is teach. I'm always meant to teach, and I'm stepping into that role as well. So I've had a couple of people that did approach me throughout my time of going to places and meeting people, not at like clearing of houses or anything like that. These are just like at just more metaphysics type places, well-being, alternative medicine, and then they would start to talk to me and don't be afraid of what you can do or your gifts, because you never know when someone needs that and they're just needing someone to say it. So what's the worst if you say it? That they look at you like you're weird or disgust? That's fine. That's on that person. Remember, everyone's a mirror. So truly be true to yourself. So, um, in this situation with this family member of four, I got to cross over them all together. And the feeling you get when you cross over someone that has been stuck is amazing. I don't think you can really explain it in words. I think I would say it's like peace, the highest peace that you can think you can feel in your body, because you just realize what happened. So, also in my time of my mediumship and clearing of houses and businesses, I have realized that if you believe you were not a good person, let's say you sexually assaulted a kid, most of them do not choose the light. And if you notice about trauma, what happens is a repeat pattern. Most of the time, if that happened to you, for example, if you were molested as a boy, because I'm noticing that this is happening a lot in boys and men, then you have an option. As you get older, you can either A, become the abuser, the same pattern that was given to you, or you can choose to not do it, but yet sometimes you fear that that will become you. So I have an opportunity to go in and clear this business. This lady's business was social worker. And anytime it's a social worker, I pretty much know what I'm about ready to go into, because they have so much around them and so many people attract. So, again, how can you bring home a stuck spirit? It's all about your vibrational level. If you're feeling really low, you can very well pick up one of them, attract one of them, because the feeling is what they link to you. There's something that they see in you that they know, they feel, they remember, so they just get stuck to you, and then you take them home. Um, but if you're on a higher vibration, that cannot happen. That does not happen, because they're not on a very high vibration. They're on a very low vibration because they're stuck and they're repeating whatever they did. So back what I was saying about child molesters, that was a really hard one for me, to help anyone that was stuck. I had to go and heal a lot with my past and my childhood before I could actually be able to help those stuck spirits. You have to realize when someone passes, they're not the same person, even if they're stuck in this time frame here. Even if they're stuck in between this and the afterlife, they're not the same person. They can have the same feelings, but they don't, there's not a lot attached to it. So what I learned with child molesters, that it is a family thing, that it seems like it was passed down from family to family, generation, and someone has to break that pattern. There's always someone born to break that pattern. So those were always appeared to be dark figures, but they really weren't. That is just how my mind was associating with what I was feeling. So now, today, I don't see dark figures. I actually see a person. Now, I do not mean a person like you or me. What I mean is they're more like a cloudy, floating thing. That's what I can see. Sometimes they allow me to see features on them, and other times they don't. They just look like a floating cloud. That's all. They don't really have any color at all anymore because I worked through my fears of, you know, whatever came. And a lot of fears was because I was into all those ghost stories and those horror movies and all that. And most of that's just bogus. It's just for fun to scare you. It's not really reality. Um, so as I got to heal myself, I got an opportunity to help um, people that were past but stuck, that they did that to little kids, and that they were not choosing the light because they said it was judgment. And light is unconditional love. There is no judgment there. Everyone's on their path. So who you become, what you do, it's all part of your path. And whatever your soul has agreed to, that's what's coming. That's what's going to happen. And then you learn what you're supposed to learn as a soul, what you wanted to experience, you experience, and then you go on. So, the medium that I am is like I said, I can sense them. That's the very first thing I do when I walk in. Sense them. Second thing I do is I can get feelings throughout my body of what's going on with them. Third thing is if they're willing to communicate, then they do. Not every soul that I see, every spirit I see that's not cross, not all of them wants my help. Some of them just want to be left alone. So, whatever you are as a medium, like I said, there's so many different types. It does not mean that the word medium, you have to be this, this, and this, and this, and this. No, it doesn't. It means so many different things. That is all linked to a word that we use as medium. If you are feeling that maybe perhaps you are a medium and you're just not sure, again, like I said, just reach out through my email. It's my last name, musardk05@gmail.com, and just set up where we can talk more, because I am here to help if you believe that that is your path. And most of the time when I am one-on-one with other mediums that they're very new, they have so much fear around being a medium that they can't say it. As I had the same fear. So I totally get it. Totally understand it. The next thing I wanted to talk about is, when do you think your house or your business or even yourself needs a cleansing? Uh, Everyone needs cleansing, even healers. If that's what you go by, I would say I would definitely identify myself as a healer of many arts. So we all need clearing, because we can get negative energy and it can stick with us. It can basically be stuck on you or in your house. So, what are some of the things that you can look for as like, I wonder, do I need a house cleansing here? Right? Very first thing, do you feel dense energy? Do you go home and just feel super tired, like instantly or within a little bit of being there? These are clear signs that there's some energy that needs to be cleansed. Now, with 2020, I'm sure everybody could use cleansing in their house. So now I'm going to show you just one thing that you can do to help that. There is no such thing as if I start by lighting the sage, which I have right here. I'll show it to you. Sage, then I'm calling in demons and horrible things to come in because I'm saging my apartment. No. Now, if that is your set goal, if that's what you put into your mind and put out to the universe, that you want to attract that type of energy, then that's what you're going to get. But this is just a simple tool that you can buy, and you light the bottom of it, and you literally say a prayer as you go through your house, waving it in all corners. Make sure you get mirrors and corners, because any stuck spirit always are in corners and in mirrors. So, little side note, if you are constantly looking at a corner for no reason, you probably have someone there. That doesn't mean to freak out. Okay. All that means is maybe if you're willing to ask them, why are they here? Because it's a two-way street, two ways. They're here for your help, but they're also here to help you. So I learned that too, as it is a two-way street. It's not one way. All right. But even let's say you're too scared to like, nah, I don't think so. I'm not going to open that door, right? That's not actually a door that opens and closes with mediumship. My mom always says that. It cracks me up. Yeah, there is no door. If you have it, you have it. It's always been there. Um, and if you choose to go in and try to master it, get better with it, then in time you just advance more and more, and you learn more and more. That's all. That's what happened to me. Um, so if you're not ready to approach it, then I would use sage. That is always a good, safe smudging tool. And you just light it and you say a prayer. And what I highly recommend is if you do get a sense that there is somebody there that has not crossed over, then you just offer them the light. That's all. You can even tell them, like, do not try to communicate with me, please. Here's the light. Just go into the light. But I would highly kind of recommend asking what the message is, because they attracted to you for a reason. Unless they were there the whole time that you just happened to move in. And if you sense that when you moved into your house or your apartment, like, I have this feeling I'm not ever been alone here, then that means that that energy, that person that is stuck, it was stuck there because of the land. Anytime it's actually on a person, attached to a person, they will go with that person until that person gets this person to cross over, or allows someone to come in like a medium and help them. But if you move into a house and apartment and you always had that feeling of like, I don't feel like I'm alone. That's what very first thing I do when I choose to move is definitely check it out. Make sure there's no buddy just there, you know, on the land. And if there is, then, I attune to them and help them go wherever they need to go. Um, but this is also a way that you can reach out if you feel like you definitely want a cleansing done, but you just do not feel that you can do it. You don't feel safe. That's okay. Um, and that's something I do as well. So, like I said, you can always reach out, and I have no problem going to houses and cleansing them. It's what I do. It was a way to actually help my mediumship basically become what it is today. Um, but if you are up to the task, then like I said, sage is always good, and you just light it. You walk around and you say whatever you feel guided to say. Normally, it's a prayer, and you just get every corner, every mirror, basically your whole house. Immediately when I do this, I get a very good sense of the weight has lifted feeling, that the air is not as dense. And that pretty much tells me that I did what I needed. Now, um, also, let's talk about cleansing yourself. With the whole 2020 and a lot of things happening there and a lot of staying at home, you probably have some dense energy because of that whole experience. Sage you can use on your body as well. And how you want to do that is you just basically light it and you just kind of go around your crown and you just kind of go over the body and then back. And then you just go the whole body, the arm, you go all the way down and then all the way back and then up. And you go all the way to your feet and then back up. There's no wrong or right way of doing this. The intention is very important. So, intention, you have to have the intention set before you do it. That you're just clearing all energy and any stuck energy or anything like that. And if you have a job that's very negative energy there, then the likeliness saging would be a good thing. And sometimes my job is very negative energy there. That sometimes I instantly come home and I have to sage myself, or have Chelsea sage me down because I can feel it. You know when you're off, and you know when you're you, and you know when you do not feel you. We know this. It's very easy for us to attune to ourselves and go, something doesn't feel right. So saging, and also there's also the wood. If saging is too strong of a smell, because it does have a strong smell. There's also the wood that you can buy, that does the same thing. It just doesn't have that strong smell like sage. You cleansing your house and yourself, that does not open up any doors for any bad things to happen. And that's one thing I want to stress. It's okay to sage your house. It's okay to sage your body and everyone in your house. It's perfectly okay. That is not opening up any demon doors. That is just stuff that we were taught in movies. If you open that door, you can't close it. If you believe in it, wait and see what happens. And I tell you, that comes from horror stories. That really does. It's nothing like that. Not for me, anyways. Um, I never felt fear of going into any place that I was asked to go in and do a cleansing. Um, I have a more understanding of like most and everybody that I encounter that has not passed. They're just people. They were people when they were alive, and now they just need help. And in the end, they help me as well because it's a two-way street. So helping men and women that were child molesters actually helped me out a lot with stuff I had to deal with that I didn't want to. But it was a journey to go on, and now know that I do not judge anybody that is not living. I'm still working on the ones that are alive. That's harder harder to do, is not judge others, but I'll get there. So I just wanted to come and share what I do, um, of the mediumship, what I offer there, and just to talk to people that very well know that they're mediums and are scared or not sure where to go from here. Always here to help. And then I wanted to talk also about, because of how the density and the energy's been, that it's always good to do your own cleansing if you want. And if not, then like I said, you just pay someone to come in and do a cleansing. And then you're okay. So I think on that, I kind of talked about basically what came. I don't write down notes or anything like this. I just go on live and I just speak from the heart, and what comes out, and it will reach the people it needs to reach. And that's kind of my goal, is to reach the people that are ready to hear it, and also reach the people that maybe are having a real tough time with what's happening and that they need help. So thanks for watching. So always share with people that would benefit from this. Um, and please like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. See you guys later.